Welcome to Classroom 2 Courtroom. Here's your host, Scott Benton.
Hey everyone, Scott Benton here. How are you? I'm the host of the Classroom 2 Courtroom podcast, where we help you easily transition from law school student into your professional career as a bona fide attorney, and where we make the practice of law fun, more importantly. Now, today we're going to answer the question of how do standard and superior client services differ? How do standard and superior client services differ? Are you a law student or recent graduate waiting for admission to the California bar and eager to gain real-world legal experience? Join the Legacy Lawyers' coveted associate programs in sunny Southern California. Our hands-on spring, summer, and fall programs provide opportunities to dive into high-stakes probate litigation. If you aspire to litigate and thrive in an America First culture that values God, family, and country, we want you on our team. Don't wait, space is limited. Call 714-766-0457 to learn more about this exciting opportunity. That's 714-766-0457. Elevate your legal career with the Legacy Lawyers. Now, there are going to be many differences between standard client service and superior client service. Overall, for the sake of this podcast episode anyway, we're going to look at the use of case facts in order to determine the difference and recognize that essentially there are two types of case facts. Standard client services is only going to be concerned with focusing on one form of case facts, and a superior level of client services is going to be concerned with two forms of case facts. Now, keep in mind that focusing on two types of case facts, that's not necessarily an easy thing to do because it causes a lot of confusion, as you soon shall see. And as such, a lot of attorneys, they just prefer to only focus on one type of case facts, largely because practicing law can be quite demanding. And they're going to see that focusing on two types of case facts, it's too difficult. It slows them down. It makes them less efficient in terms of completing cases. And so a lot of times attorneys they're going to default back to focusing on only one type of case fact. But what are these two types of case facts that we're talking about? First, let's say that there is a first type of case facts here. They are going to be case facts that pertain to the law. They pertain to the law. The second type of case facts, they're largely going to be, we'll call them background case facts, and they really don't have any bearing on the case as far as the law is concerned. And they're certainly never going to appear in a courtroom or in front of a judge, but they're facts nonetheless. The background case facts, the ones that are never going to show up in a courtroom, those are going to be the case facts that your client is going to value, and that they're going to be the most important case facts of probably all of them, because those background case facts are going to connect with your client on an emotional feelings level. These background case facts, for instance, they might be usually something about what they're going to do with the money that they receive. Sometimes it's to accomplish a personal goal or a family goal. Maybe they want to buy, for instance, an investment property so they have some retirement income. Maybe they're in their retirement and they need more retirement income, so they're going to use this money they're going to get from this case to go out and buy an investment property or two so that they can rent those out, and every month they can have extra income to improve the quality of their life. So it's the reason that they initially picked up the phone and called your firm. And it's why they made the decision to hire an attorney to help them navigate the complexities of the legal landscape. And in fact, a client will likely not be able to tell the difference between case facts that become part of the case and then these other background case facts that, while they're tremendously important to them, to your client, they don't become a part of the case. And the clients aren't going to really be able to tell the differences between the two in general. You're going to explain them to them. Eventually, they're going to get it. But for the most part, facts are just facts. To them, it's all one thing. So for you as the attorney, the tendency is to pay little attention to these background facts. A lot of times those just get pushed aside. And you're only going to focus on the case facts that you can use in a court of law. A lot of attorneys, they do this because just of efficiency. Now, it's a given, obviously, that you must focus on the case facts that you're going to use for your case, that you also have to recognize that you have an opportunity to focus just as closely on those other background facts. With an understanding of the differences between the two types of case facts, here we can now use them to better demonstrate that a standard level of client service it's only going to focus on the case facts that a judge is going to see or a courtroom is going to see. But if you really want to level up your game as an attorney, and I mean by orders of magnitude, if you want to level up your game as an attorney, and if you want to make a significant difference in the overall quality of the work that you're providing your client with a superior level of client service, then you're going to want to include those background facts that you only discuss with your client. These don't go outside of that relationship. You don't talk about these background facts, for instance, with opposing counsel or bring them up in the courtroom. You're largely going to be discussing these background facts as a form of motivation with your client to help keep the case funded and always moving forward. So you're going to say to your client, we're a step closer now to getting you that investment property that you want so that you have extra income during your retirement, because that's their goal. No one else knows that, just you and the client. But by reminding the client that's the goal, it's going to help keep the case moving forward. They're going to continue to buy your legal services until you reach the end of that case. They're not going to ghost you. They're going to stick around. They're going to return your phone calls and your emails, and they're going to keep the legal services going by replenishing their account with the law firm. When you talk to your client, in addition to just talking about the regular case facts, the ones that pertain to the law, and that everyone associated with this case, they already know and they have these case facts, you also want to bring your client into the space of those background case facts, because with all of the countless details that generally become a part of a case, it can get easy to forget really what you're fighting for. You're not going to forget you want that investment property, but temporarily you can get derailed because having a case that you're working on can be sometimes pretty stressful for the client. And so you want to, when you talk to them, remind them of the why of the case. Why are we working on this case so hard? Why are we doing all of this work? And the reason is because in this case, in this made up case, that because at the end of the case, you're going to be able to buy this investment property or investment properties, depending on how much the client stands to walk away with. So you want to remind your client really over and over again about what brought them into your law firm, that why behind that action, those case facts that aren't really tied to the law. And sometimes the target changes in terms of the legal goal that they're trying to reach. There's just new information that comes in from time to time, and it shifts that legal goal. But whatever happens, the reason behind why they're pursuing those goals, such as buying the investment property, that generally doesn't change. That generally stays the same. So you want to keep your client inside of that more emotionally charged space and continually remind them of why they called your firm in the first place. Now, an attorney providing a standard level of client services, remember, they're only going to focus on the case facts that pertain to the law. And an attorney, that's hopefully you, an attorney that is going to provide superior client service, that's you, is going to focus on the case facts that pertain to the law as well as the background case facts. They're going to pay attention to those simultaneously, and that's the difference. That's the difference between a standard level of service and a superior level of service when it comes to your client. So I hope that's informative, and I hope it's useful information. My name is Scott Benton. I'm the host of the Classroom to Courtroom podcast. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If this is material that you like and you would like to receive an alert whenever we put out a new episode, you can go to our website. Our website is classroom2courtroom.com. That's Classroom, the number 2, courtroom.com. You can put in your contact information. You'll get a notification whenever we put out a new episode of this podcast. And if this is information that you're enjoying, don't forget to share and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of our newest episodes. And until then, we hope that you'll join us in making the world a better place, one client at a time. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for joining us on Classroom 2 Courtroom, the podcast designed to help launch your first-time legal career. If you have any feedback or ideas for episodes you'd like to hear, you can always find us at classroom2courtroom.com, where you can leave comments, ask questions, and even join our online community. And always remember, by becoming an excellent and confident practicing attorney, you actually make the world a better place. Now get out there and master the art of practicing law.